Hello, this is Vanessa Tijerina coming at you live here in the Rio Grande Valley, South Texas. How many degrees is it where y'all are at? If you're a man that's trying to get my attention by trying to have a personal conversation with me during this, I'm just gonna block you. That's not what this is for. Thank you. Hello, Mr. Bouquet, how are you? They say it's gonna snow here in Bell County. Yeah, we're expected to have snow in McAllen, which is one of the major cities in Hidalgo County down here, and Raymondville, also where I'm from. Hey, Nixon, Texas, I see you. 13 degrees in Utah. My goodness, 28 degrees in Oklahoma. Wow. Good morning. I just heard that they canceled even courts down here. They canceled courts. And I just happened to find that out. I didn't have a court case or anything, but I was speaking to somebody and they told me that they called them. Hey, Barbara, showing off. Thank you, Barbara. Barbara Smith says it's 62 degrees in West Palm Beach. That sounds very lovely, actually. 35 degrees in Houston. Hi there, Miss Angie, how are you? It's 12 degrees where you're at, and it's snowing, Michelle. Oh my goodness. I hope everybody stays warm. I'm gonna take a little drive. Would you all like to come along with me, please? Would you like to keep me company? I would appreciate that. Hi there, Miss Shannon. How are you? Hi, Miss Yvonne. I know. Hi, Megan. How are you? I'm gonna wait for more of y'all to tune in. Somebody said Hitchcock, Texas, in the 30s. 20 degrees in North Texas. Mandy says, hello, beautiful. Be safe and stay warm out there. Keep fighting. Thank you. That's what this is about. This is a survival video, by the way. This is a survival video. It is. So, I don't know what to tell you. And the world will know with certainty. With certainty. Right? But and obviously I want justice as a victim. Obviously. I see you, Mobile, Alabama. I see you. Oh my goodness. She says, Kim McDyke says, thank you, Tracy. Thank you. Miss Tracy Haley. 36 degrees in Mobile, Alabama. She says that they rarely see temperatures that. Girl, I'm in South Texas. It's 39 degrees. Like, oh my goodness. Yes, I know what you mean. I guess, you know, Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, even South Texas, we're all considered the deep South. All right? Thank you. Michelle says, no way, no one should ever suffer that way. Thank you so much. So, if you go down on my timeline, I recently shared a reel of a montage of things regarding a set of one of the people that was on a set of names that I gave on my victim statement. And I told the assistant prosecutor over and over and over again. For 4 years, I've begged for them to rule people out, right? for a variety of reasons, and I've listed them. I've listed why it's important. And the people that live in my region, I live in South Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley. The 4 southernmost counties, Starr County, Cameron County, Hidalgo County, and the northernmost county is Willacy County, and that's where I'm from. Right? 20 degrees in Memphis. Thank you, Mr. Brown. I see you, Houston. I see you, Cindy. I see you, Arizona. I see you. Thank you. So, I'm only going to defend some of the things that is being put out there. The thing is that I'm not an idiot, and one of the things that they discovered while they were prosecuting me was that I wasn't an idiot, that I'm not an idiot, that I'm actually quite intelligent, right? And, you know, regardless of my neurodivergent status, I come from an area of the nation, you should know, that makes fun of neurodivergence. I'm not even kidding. They will call you the R word for developmentally delayed, but they'll call you that word in Spanish. I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. You could literally be more intelligent than them. You can literally have demonstrated a life with so much more purpose than the people that are calling you that name, and they will still do that. That's just the culture where I'm at. And I always knew that. And it took me a little while, but I accepted it. Because had I not accepted it, I would have given up a long time ago. Right? I accepted that as long as my story, the farther that my story surpasses the boundaries of my region, the more critical thinkers, the more people would be shocked to know you call your people that are neurodivergent, you call them that? Oh my goodness, right? I knew that there was going to be more clutching of pearls regarding my story than laughing at my story. Always knew that. And because I dealt with that since I tell you, in kindergarten. I'm used to the clown Joker energy in our region. I'm not kidding. Thank you, and I brought it this time because I knew y'all were gonna ask me. It's by a company called M as in Max, OIRA, and the color is Cocoa, COCOA. And all I do is line my lips, and then I use just this. It's just chapstick. That's it. That's all I do. Because I got tired of looking for like a nude and all my stuff to look for the perfect nude to go with the brown, whatever brown dark lip liner. And this just goes perfect with every dark lip liner. It just goes perfect. So, thank you, Kellyanne. And I've seen all your comments. Thank you so much. She says, Kellyanne says, I've been researching your, oh, Kellyanne, just so you know, and I haven't said this in a long time. Just so you know, they're going to inbox you. If they haven't reached out to you yet, they're going to try to reach out to you. One of their tactics is to destroy any, not just assassinate my character, but to destroy any support I could possibly get from anybody. They literally want to stop it as right then and there in any way that they can, and so they will reach out to you. She says, I've been researching your case since I caught your live the other day. At first I judged, I love you for admitting that, but once I knew your story, I felt like an asshole for even judging you and not knowing your story. I'm behind you 1,000,000%. Thank you. Thank you. makes you feel some kind of way as a victim, especially when, you know, maybe if I wasn't as observant, and maybe if I didn't have the mind that I had, maybe if I was a little bit more naive or more, not as smart, right? Then I would have believed and fallen for what the prosecution wants to say happened in my, it was a hate crime. It was a hate crime for two reasons. I was targeted because I was a woman. The people on the list that I gave them, that they refused to rule out, they all hated me because of who I was, who I am. They all hated me. If I was a man, they would have no problem with me. They would have zero issue with me. Zero. They would not care if I was a man. They wouldn't have a problem with me, is what I'm saying. Okay? Believe me, if the beating had happened to a man, they would be like, oh my goodness, is he okay? That's the way my culture is. I'm not even kidding. They would care more about me as a victim. I swear to you. That's how my culture is. It is. It's sad. But the list of people that I gave them didn't like me because I was a woman. That just by my mere existence, for a few of the same reasons, incited hate in the minds of the men on that list. A couple of those women, in my opinion, had lesbian tendencies, which that applies to what I just said. And the other set of women on there, it was envy, it was jealousy, and that's on both parts, both male and female. But make no mistake, this was a hate crime. It was a hate crime, and it was based on my sex, because if I would have been a man, they wouldn't have done this to me. And it all stemmed from a group of people that were very proud. I'm not kidding. That's why it's been so difficult for me, because in my region, my tragedy was entertainment to everybody. I'm not kidding. It was entertainment to all of the people that were supporting and do support the hate pages. It was entertainment. It was entertainment. It was entertainment that I was being gang stalked. It was entertainment to such a degree that they had their own name for the gang stalking, called the Watch Posse. Yeah. It was such an entertainment for the region where I live. They dehumanized me. They did not care. This is a human, this is a woman, this is a human being. And it's kind of bizarre that we think it's okay for her to be gang stalked and gang harassed. Not only do some of us think it's okay, we think it's hilarious. We take joy in it. It was so bad that they would have the public from all 4 counties participate in it. Strangers. Yep. And all this is documented, and many people that have been following my story are felons. They're not supposed to be around other felons. Because those minds together create the capacity for organized crime. But people don't take into consideration, if you have a number of humans who have been felons their whole lives, with Criminal Minds that have just never been caught. They still have the same capacity to create damage and hurt other beings. And so when they asked me, because remember I walked in and there was a camera, there was a phone recording me, just a straight regular recording. On my left and on my right there was another straight regular recording, but the camera in the middle was a live video that was a live stream the entire time. And so when they asked me to do this one thing, hi there Mr. Smith, how are you? Hi there Carrie, how are you? When they asked me to do this one thing, it was about maybe halfway through, and they were trying to knock out my teeth, and they started saying things like, oh, you think you're so pretty? Oh, you have such nice teeth. And they were trying to make me open my mouth, but by that time, if they were going to try that, they should have done it in the beginning before my whole face started swelling up. Because by the time they wanted to knock out my pretty teeth, like I said, they were trying to make me smile and open my mouth, and I couldn't. I just physically could not. And Kellyanne says, by the way, you deliver your story with such grace, very articulate. Your intellect alone will be this so-called attorney you speak of. I went into that hate group and they sounded like a bunch of elementary school kids. Exactly. Exactly. The people on the list that they haven't ruled out, these are not intelligent humans. They're not. They're not at all. At all. At all. I promise you, they are not at all. They may have had the means, the resources, the access, and they may have had different parts, right? But they are not intelligent at all. They're not. So when they asked me to look in the camera, when they gave up trying to knock out my teeth, and when they said, look in the camera and say you're not going to do any more live videos, that's when I knew. I knew. Right then and there, I knew. These people in this room are not the ones that conceived of what's happening right now. And right then and there, I knew that the people that conceived the crime were watching it live. That's why they wanted the satisfaction of me saying that into the camera. Because otherwise, they would have wanted me to say it into one of the recorded ones for their souvenir. I'm not stupid. Hi, Gato, how are you? So, I go to the hospital, and I'm so used to the same people now trying to seek justice for me. Remember, the detective went into the ambulance and told me, Vanessa, let's put everything in the past behind us, and let's work together to find out who did this to you. First of all, you already know 2 of them because you just arrested them. And it wasn't going to be very long before they found the other ones. But I told him, I will never forget what I told him, and I said, that's fine. I mean, it's not fine for me to put everything that 6 months ago took my daughters away from me. You're the same detective that Officer Ramirez went up to and who you told, you need to leave. You need to leave. If the little girls are fine, they're happy and they're eating and they're fine and they're talking to you fine, you need to leave. It's the same detective that Officer Ramirez told, I can't leave. I'm gonna look stupid to all these people that came over here to see all this. I'm gonna look stupid if we don't arrest her. So that same detective that knew that he had told Officer Ramirez to leave, 6 months later was in that ambulance telling me, let's work together. Okay, fine, let's do that. But obviously I already had PTSD from these very same people, the exact same people that were supposed to be helping me, right? And so I was like, they're gonna try to find a way to say that I was doing something wrong, and I wasn't. Like, I wasn't doing anything wrong. It is exactly what I stated. They're gonna think that I was like, but no, there's security cameras there and this and that. And so I was in the hospital for hours and hours and hours, and they did all kinds of tests and everything. And that's when I tell y'all, after about 2 or 3 hours, the emergency room doctor, he came running into the room, and he said I was waiting for one last final radiology report. And he said, you're a miracle. And he said, in all the years I've been doing this, I've never seen anybody with your level of trauma without a chipped tooth, a tooth fell out, a splintered bone, or broken bone. He said, you are not going to have any permanent damage. And he was on the verge of tears because he couldn't believe it. He couldn't believe it. By looking at me, you wouldn't think that at all, that would have been my outcome. So during that time, I was talking back and forth to the detective. And it's so sad because as a victim, I felt compelled, you know, to like prove that I wasn't lying about what I said. I had the text messages from those people the night before where they were trying to get me to go in the middle of the night, right? And I said, no, right? And when I woke up in the morning, I was like, I guess they must have been serious, right? And obviously you're gonna be like, well, who's paying, who wants, you know, it's important, who's gonna want to pay money to hurt you, and you know, all that, right? And so as I was there in the emergency room while they were waiting for all the radiology reports to be final, I remember even calling the detective and telling him, because I was trying to prove that I was hurt. I was trying to prove that I was a real victim. Can you believe that? And I remember saying, you're not gonna let them clean the room, right? Like you're gonna leave it there for evidence, right? I said there should be a pillowcase without a pillow, because at one point they put a pillowcase on my face, and inside the pillowcase, or if it's turned inside out, you're gonna see my blood in there. We saw every single thing they did to you. It was bad. It was really bad. And I said, okay, right? And remember, I was with all these head injuries. You all saw me on the this was on the 24th. You all saw me like at midnight, right? And my head just everything kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger on my face, right? And so after a couple of days that I recovered, I didn't give my victim statement until maybe less than a week later, the day that I went to go get my car, I believe. This video is not for people coming over here and asking me questions about things that don't have anything to do with the hate crime that I'm talking about. And haters are gonna do that. Please don't believe that they're coming over here to ask innocent questions. They're not. They're trying to find a reason to make me not a good person. Like if they came over here right now they don't care about anything else that I said, and they're only focused on, you haven't gotten a COVID vaccine and you're a nurse. Those are troublemakers. Those are the kind of people that just look at me immediately and do not like me. They don't care. They just care about asking questions that could possibly even a little bit discredit me in the eyes of the public. To answer your question, at that time I was not working, so I wasn't required to get a vaccine. When I went back to work, there's exceptions to having that vaccine, depending on the industry that you're in. Some industries mandate that you have a vaccine. Yes, even in nursing, there are some that mandate it. There are also some that do not mandate it. They don't. And I'm not going to get some vaccine that the FDA lowered its standards for to get it approved. Yeah. Let's just lower the standards for approval. Now it's approved for the public. Yeah, but you lowered the standards. So there's that, okay? So I'm going to go back to my story. All right? Okay. So, now people aren't really talking about the vaccine. By the way, I'm just letting you know, there's nothing about, well, we have a new COVID vaccine, this and that. You don't hear that anymore. There's a reason for that. There's a reason that a lot of people in the military made a big, huge deal about stop making me get this vaccine, because even they knew. They were like, I don't want that. I shouldn't have to have that. Maybe for the reasons that I said right now, or maybe for their own reasons, whatever it is. And the defense that they give is, how can I be ruled out if I've never even been ruled in? That's silly. That's the problem. You were never ruled in. That's precisely the problem. That is exactly what the problem is. We have to get through that obstacle before the ruling out can even begin. And the problem is that there is a person in charge, Annette Hinojosa, of seeking justice for me, that has, for nearly a decade before that happened, prosecuted me in every way possible, and now is in a position, it's a conflict of interest. Your objectives as a prosecutor trying to make me a felon, and your objectives as a prosecutor trying to get me justice, are conflicting objectives. That is a huge conflict of interest. On top of that, there's different layers to that. Not only is it a conflict of interest, you know, if there was officials, an officer involved, and it's a small county, you're going to want to save their asses. If one of them is a man who your district attorney's first main investigator was working with to put her, now the victim of this hate crime, in jail and have her bond revoked, and that man is on this victim's list of names that she's begging you to roll out, you're not gonna want the world to see how foolish you were, how unethical you were, how wrong you were to, as an investigator, but not just as an investigator, because an investigator for a district attorney's office is not going to do anything that is not signed off by the district attorney. So essentially you're not going to want the world to find out that you were working to literally damage that victim just a few weeks prior, which is probably why that man that your investigator was working with was angry and livid. And it matters because all the people, the majority of the people on that list were in the years, months, weeks, and days leading up to that crime. We're running hate pages, we're making comments, we're harassing me, we're stalking me, we're saying number one suspect behavior. Nothing but number one suspect behavior. But as a district attorney, you're not going to want the world to know that you were working with such a man. Right? Now, to leave, to not be incarcerated. And so she was supposed to be on house arrest. Now, the district attorney should have done something about that. And she should have, first of all, the district attorney, as far as I know, she did not show up because you have to have a hearing. This has to go before a judge. The district attorney did not argue in opposition of her leaving. She didn't show up to argue. That's the first thing. The second thing is this district attorney did not do her research. And if she would have done the research that I did, she would have seen that this one that she was going to allow to leave and give special treatment to, unlike all the other ones who were forced to be incarcerated until the day of trial. They did not have the special privilege and the special treatment to be able to have house arrest. And, you know, Scout's honor, I promise to show up for my sentencing. Even though I have a history of perhaps you should, that, no. Because had the district attorney done the necessary level of investigation, she would have found what I found. Is that same person was in United States District Court, at the United States District Courthouse in Corpus Christi, not even a year before she did what she did to me. Not even a year. Not even a year. It was 9 months prior. And they had a bond hearing. I don't know what her charges were. All I know is the U.S. District Court judge stated, this person has a history of certain things medically that you cannot see. Okay. This person is a danger, I'm not kidding, is a danger to the community. This person should never be given bond because of these reasons. All of that. Right? But she didn't do her research. She didn't. And I became her next victim 9 months later. Another motive that the district attorney would have for not doing the right thing would be the fact that my main aggressor, the one that was assaulting me the most, she failed to indict her during that fall of 2020. She failed to indict her after she stabbed her second victim. Her first victim was in the beginning of the year in the winter, and she left that girl for dead, but she survived. Her second victim was in the fall, and she was charged with attempted murder. But then they changed their mind. They said, no, you know what? You're not going to say she did it. You're going to say it was Cody that did it. You see, and this is where a lot of hateful people try to be like, oh, this crime that happened to her is not a big deal. Well, first of all, it fucking is. But that it's not a big deal because one of the girls involved was the new girlfriend of somebody that I had previously had a situationship with. It was Cody. And I was literally in shock because I was like, isn't that Cody's girlfriend on the phone giving the orders for you to torture me, and you guys want me to say that it was him? I said this to myself in my mind, like, that's such a betrayal, first of all, but you know, self-preservation, right? And plus they hit you harder right now when you didn't say yes to saying that that other female had done this to you. So I said, okay. And all of that was on camera. Everything that I'm telling you is on camera. 2 cameras. So here recently I'm having to deal with this woman. So when the public found out this was happening to me, let's deal with the man. Right. So the man that started all the gang stalking that year and the gang harassment gave me the disability slur that everybody was calling me, and that recruited that hateful woman, Ophelia Moreno. And she lied too. She lied earlier this year. And the fact that what I'm going to tell you is all true, and the district attorney does not see anything wrong with this, is a fucking problem. It's a fucking problem. So, my beating started at around 10:30. I was rescued at about 1:30. Okay. In that reel with Frank Marr states that they didn't make a post. And one of his hateful followers, I highlighted the comment that they made. You didn't post it till like 3-something. No, the fuck he didn't. No, he didn't. He posted it in the morning. What did he post? You see, and everything that I'm telling you right now, I stated it in my victim statement. Because remember, I didn't make my victim statement until days after. So by the time all of that happened, I had already gotten all this feedback from other people. Is this Vanessa? Is this right now? Is this happening right now? Because contrary to what Frank Marr stated, he received a screen recording. It wasn't a screen recording from the 2 phones that were recording. It was a screen recording from the live feed. The fact that the district attorney does not find it suspicious that Frank Marr stated that he received that information from a passerby, it was a locked room. Who was going to be passing by? Also, it was a screen recording from somebody that was directly connected to the live stream. That's not a passerby. You received that from someone that was directly involved, and they felt so comfortable sending it to you because not only did they want to humiliate me, because they literally, all of these people that were not very smart, thought that by showing the public that I was in the middle of being taken hostage, because that's what the caption said. The Nasa Tijerina is being taken hostage right now. That's what Ms. Painter and her aunt gasped about. And all of a sudden, Ofelia Moreno was like, what's happening? What's going on? And she said, look, is this Vanessa? Is this right now? And the fact that the district attorney does not care that Ofelia Moreno looked at it and said, fucking Frank, he wasn't supposed to post that. He wasn't supposed to post that. What does that let me know? That lets me know. And it should let the district attorney know. If she is saying he was not supposed to post that, that means she knew that I was in the middle of being taken hostage. 2, she knew the people that were involved. 3, she knew of what he posted because she stated he wasn't supposed to post it. Her and Frank were involved. The fact that the district attorney is literally ignoring this, if my hypothesis is correct, then the whole community is in danger. Because if they attempt to rule those people out and they can't, that means that the district attorney literally was okay for the rest of her life, allowing these very criminal minds violent. Immediately, she was property of Willacy County. So because they failed to take that warrant, Julissa was able to leave freely. Guess where she was hiding? For a while. She eventually went somewhere else to hide, where they finally arrested her. Yeah, in that same trailer, on the property, in the trailer owned by Ofelia Moreno's brother. Yeah, that's where she was hiding for a while. Right? So, I've heard, and many of my followers have heard, Ofelia Moreno many times state, I have accepted rent. I have accepted rent. I do that for my brother. I do that for my brother. We will be foolish to believe that we did not hear what we heard. Essentially, what she's doing is she's gaslighting people. She's literally, this morning with this morning's video, she was trying to make people believe the reality in which you heard me say that in the past. No, this is the new reality. No, you didn't hear that. It's gaslighting. It's gaslighting. For us to remember that she said that, and we would be unwise to think of the possibility that there was no possibility that one of those people that she would go and get rent from would also be from the property that was being rented by Julissa's sister and brother-in-law, that were coincidentally raided on. there's no connection, right? Because in this morning's live video of hers, she was trying to convince everybody that there's no connection. There was no connection. I don't know Ariel. I don't know any. You don't need to know any of them. You don't need to know Amanda. You don't need to know Amanda's family. All you needed to know was one. That's it. And that one got the other ones. You don't need to know the other ones. That doesn't mean you're innocent. That doesn't mean that you should not be ruled out. And simply because you were not ruled in or considered a suspect by a very corrupt district attorney who has a whole other set of objectives to prosecute me does not mean, Ofelia Moreno, that you are innocent and that you should not be ruled out. Simply because a corrupt district attorney fails to rule you out because she didn't consider you does not mean that you are in the clear, and it does not mean that you should not still be ruled out. A corrupt district attorney is a corrupt district attorney. She is not going to be ruling you out the way another non-corrupt district attorney would have already attempted to rule you out. Now, there's been a lot of mention that she was in the police station. That's another thing that makes me wonder, you know, if this person is a snitch. Because there's so many times that she's been at the police station that her work doesn't matter. I mean, I make my own schedule. I do. So that's what I have to say, and that's why I had to make this video. And to the police who are probably reviewing this video now, because she's probably going to lie to you and say, Vanessa Theodino threatened me. Did I? Did I? Because you've watched the whole video up until right now, right? Did I? Also, I'm going to want to know of any victim statements that she has made and signed an affidavit to, accusing me of anything. I don't give a shit whatever she tells y'all until she signs a victim statement blatantly lying. And then yes, I want to pursue charges for making false allegations. And I would want you all to do that too. Okay? Thank you, gentlemen, for watching this video, to the Rainville Police Department. Thank you. Annette, if you're watching this video, shame on you. Shame on fucking you. You have had 4 years. 4 years. And everything that I said in this video, if it's true, it's true. If it's my opinion, it's my opinion. But many of the things that I said are true and are documented. Shame on you. But those were your decisions. All right? Thank y'all so much. Thank you so much, okay? All right, I see you, Arkansas. I see you. Thank you, Bernice. Bernice Jimenez says she is a snitch that is protected. That's my opinion. Yes. Yeah. That is very much my opinion. That's very much my opinion. That's very much my... Why would she go live to say, there's not a trailer in front of my house? Show them the 2 blocks down and they'll see the trailer. But you aren't going to tell them that. Why are you lying and saying that you haven't over the years stated that you collect the rent for your brother's properties? You have. Why are you deflecting and calling an innocent man a drug dealer? You're gonna have to deal with him and his family. You said that. You said that. No one made you say that. Vanessa Theodina didn't make you say that. Why would you feel so comfortable? If you're not a snitch, why would you feel so comfortable trying to out somebody as a drug dealer if you're not a snitch? And if you're not, then what a coincidence that that same person and his poor family were raided on, and it just happened to be a property of your brother's. That all that is just a coincidence, right? Right. Sure. Anyway, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. Thank you, thank you. It's really, really, really cold. Thank you. All right. And yeah. Nobody that says verga, verga this or that or me la pelan or whatever, I don't give a shit about none of that shit. That is fucking uncivilized bullshit. Honestly, for real. My goodness. If y'all can say a prayer for me right now, please. I didn't even ask for that. If y'all can please say a prayer for me. I'm about to meet somebody very, very important. Not regarding my case as a victim, but yeah, he's a fucking badass. So if you can please say a prayer for me, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, this is me completely unbothered. Completely unbothered. Completely unbothered. Completely unbothered. Not worried about the Rainbow Police Department arresting me for any claims that Ofelia Moreno makes. And even if they do, I'm ready for fucking 5, 6, 7, 8 arrests. Because they're all going to be dealt with by me in the same way that I've dealt with all the other ones. Unbothered, unflinching, unafraid. Bye.